to BS the podcast with Benny Philhauer and Sal Zizzo. Enjoy.
He just sounds like a foreigner who has no idea what that is. Sporting Kansas.
And he goes, "Okay, you are worthy of a rematch with me." And I said, yo, hold on.
Welcome to BS the podcast. We are here, episode 11. We got Sean Johnson coming on. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk to him. He's going to hopefully give us some good stories, some good stories about maybe Patrick Vieira and his time with some Swedish players.
Yeah, he loves his Swedish players. He's got one on his team, and I think one that grabbed him by the neck. So we'll talk to him about that. And we'll ask him some stories about his trade from Chicago to New York City. We'll also talk about some goalies that he's played with and who he highly rates and who he doesn't. And obviously we'll finish off with Ike's interrogation room with those hard hitting questions. So let's bring him on, man.
Yeah, let's have him on.
Welcome, Sean Johnson, to the podcast. We are so happy to have you on, man.
Happy to be here, fellas.
Dude, you got you're coming on after a big one, after Wando. I don't know if we can all do this again, but we're gonna try, dude. It was there were some funny stories in there. We'll see what we can get out of you.
It's a tough act to follow. He's a clown.
It is, dude. We're gonna start with some quick hitters because we've done that the last couple episodes and it's done pretty well. This is not meant to be in any way like hard questions. That we leave that for Ike. But for some reason these came out a little bit. Some funny ones, some a little bit harder, but they're just warm up. So I hope you don't think these are hard, or else you're gonna get really messed up in Ike's interrogation. So let's get it started. An easy one to start off. You live in New York City, one of the most populated places in the world. So your favorite way to get around in New York City, is it by subway, Uber/taxi, or walking/scootering? I guess biking can be thrown in there as well.
We forgot to add your Lambo. Which one of those four?
Yeah, we're driving around your Lambo.
Well, the Lambo basically got repossessed, so I think it would be scootering, because subways have rats. I don't know if you've seen these rats in New York City, but they're not normal. They're like the size of a soccer ball. It's a joke. And then Uber, for some reason, decided to jack up their prices, so they're just it's unaffordable. You know, I had car trouble like a few weeks ago, and I was actually trying to go to the training facility, and I logged on to the Uber app. $120. Closed the Uber app.
No way.
Just,
You gotta miss that training. You gotta miss that training.
Today's
You have a scooter? Or do you use like the ride, or the, what is it called?
We have Lime scooters.
Lime. So you don't have a scooter of your own?
I don't. I'm not as fortunate and blessed as Ike to have my own personal scooter.
Hey,
Benny's got a scooter
I got
too.
that idea from me, bro.
No, I did not get that idea from you.
Yes.
First off, you wear a helmet. Sorry for blasting your safety first, but that's not cool.
Bro, I needed to ride a long ways in LA,
This is true.
all right?
You wear a helmet.
Sean,
you
how
should
far-
wear a helmet. You should.
How far do you live from the training facility?
I'm like a solid 35, 40 minutes in the morning. So I'm in Hoboken.
Oh, you're in Hoboken. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And the training facility is on the Jersey side, right? Just north?
It's on this side, so I don't have to cross over into the city.
That's good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it'd be a nightmare.
That's $20 every time you're going over to training every day.
Yes, $20 I would not have to be spending on going to training. Do all of you have scooters?
No, Sal, you don't have one, do you?
No, I don't got
I unfortunately don't get to use mine as much. I loved using it. So I would take the train in and then get my scooter off the train station and scooter into practice every day in LA. But I only have to drive 20 minutes here, so not that big of a deal. Unfortunately, I can't use. I use my scooter to go to the pool sometimes with my daughters. That's about it.
Wait, so do you leave them behind? I'm confused.
The girls?
Yeah, the scooter goes significantly faster than the girls.
Bro, I put them on the scooter with me.
Do they have helmets?
Yeah.
Have you
No. Well, they do have helmets, but they didn't ride. They didn't use the helmets last time. I gotta bring their helmets.
So only you wear the helmet, and they're not. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
Well, actually, I don't ride the helmet anymore to the pool. It's only like 100 yards. So, anyways,
like
let's get back to grilling Sean. Enough grilling.
I could see you having like on kid leashes, just driving your scooter and then just judging behind.
One of those parents with like the leashes at Disneyland to make sure they don't lose their kids.
There are so many in Hoboken, by the way. But go on.
All right. Favorite snack? Is it a bowl of fruits, chips and guac, or I've heard you make a famous PB&J sandwich?
If you didn't ask about the PB&J, I was about to tell you I make the meanest PB&J sandwich.
You need to stop lying.
Honestly, it's a surprise that Ike's still here with us today because I nearly killed this man by making him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich by putting way too much peanut butter on it. But
What are you, allergic, Ike?
He's so ungrateful. I went all the way downstairs, like.
This is at a national team camp.
Yeah,
A national team camp.
under 20s, under 23s, way back.
Yeah.
And
Caleb Porter days.
yeah.
We could touch on that maybe later, just the 23 camp. But go on.
Yeah, maybe after my computer dies.
Okay.
But made this man a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I knew he was so ungrateful, but he was so ready for the nicest peanut butter and jelly sandwich he'd ever had in his life. And I literally put a drop of jelly in the center and enough peanut butter to basically seal your mouth shut. So he took one bite and basically couldn't breathe for the next like 5 minutes. It was the best thing I've ever done in my entire life.
All right. I'm going to move along now from this story. And here's a good one for you. Your favorite goalie teammate. Is it Nick Raimondo, Tim Howard, or Brad Guzan?
Ooh, 3 good ones. Man.
You're lucky I didn't make it your least favorite. That would have been a harder question. But that might be coming up later. Who knows?
That would have been an easy question, Benny.
Ooh, I like that.
Wow, I gotta go with the toughest 5 in the interrogation. Then.
Guys, look, my battery's getting down to like 10%, so I don't think we're gonna have time for so yeah, best teammate. Wow.
Or if there's another one that we didn't mention.
Best teammate. Out of all those guys, you know what? I'm gonna have to go with Tim. With Tim. I say this only because when I was my first 5 years in the league, when Tim was still in England, every time I went over to train, he would always just open his house for me to stay, and he had the most impressive pantry of snacks, and he was
peanut butter and jelly.
Lots of PB&Js pre-made.
I would literally just leave thank you notes because I didn't really have enough money to pay him back for the snacks. Just thank you notes for everything that I took, and just said, "Yo, my bad. I was extremely hungry, but I appreciate the hospitality every single time." It was a yearly thing. Yeah,
that's nice.
He basically was feeding the hungry because I was
the starved.
And that was in pounds. That was when the pound was heavy over the dollar. So you owe him double.
That was like 2.1 to 1, dude.
That was like when Benny was making his money in England.
Sterling
2
silver.
to 1.
Well, hey, Benny, do you want to shout out Wayne Rooney for joining the Rams Club?
Yeah, me and Johnny are going to post something soon, and welcome to the Ram community.
Darby, baby.
All right, moving on. This is I'll just let you take it in stride here. Favorite soccer stadium in MLS? Yankee Stadium, Toyota / SeatGeek at Bridgeview, or literally any other stadium in MLS? Give me your favorite stadium. Take away your 2, since that's not fair. That's more of like a plead the 5th. But give me your favorite stadium in MLS to play in.
Of course, my favorite stadium is New York City. Yankee Stadium's the best.
That's a baseball stadium, though.
Yeah. So soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
My favorite soccer stadium would be, LAFC. LAFC is dope. Sporting Kansas is also up there.
Sporting Kansas.
Those are my 2 favorites.
You sound
Ike,
like
leave
a
the man alone. That's not
No disrespect.
He just sounds like a foreigner who has no idea what that is. Sporting Kansas.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
I mean,
Sporting Topeka.
SKC, the Blue Cauldron. What do you want to call it?
I don't know. I just
Blue
I thought you knew that was for Sporting Kansas City, but Sporting
Hey,
Kansas.
those are good answers. Two good
Was
teams.
that your favorite stadium, Mike?
Yeah. Wait, was I supposed to go in detail?
I was just asking.
Hey, Sean, you might have a chance to ask Ike a question later, which I hope you do. Okay. He'll get into that later. All right, last question for me for the little startups. Is New York City mostly red or mostly blue?
Oh, New York
And
City
be honest. Be honest.
It's
Be
mostly
honest,
blue.
though.
It's mostly
But before you answer, be honest.
And that I'm answering that before I ask the question. So what in terms of what are you asking in terms of? Is it mostly blue?
I don't know, man. I mean, there's ways you can just make it a mathematical question in terms of who's won more games, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm, in terms
Well,
of
if it
fans,
was, obviously you're
love,
right.
what's the vibe of the city, all that kind of stuff.
I've only been here for 3 years, so I can only speak for that. But in terms of love, I mean, there's only really one team in New York, though. That's what I don't.
Ooh, that's
what I
okay.
understand.
Yeah, it should be
That's
the
true.
Yeah.
Although you guys do train in Jersey, but
We do, but we play our games in New York. So
that's right.
I just have that's a question I always ask. They always ask, is New York one color or the other? But I'm like, there's only really one team in New York.
Yeah, it's the New Jersey Red Bulls. Actually, it used to be New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. So
Well, then let's just
That's
call
facts.
the New Jersey Giants and the New Jersey Jets as well. Let's just do that.
we'll call it the tri-state area.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring when you're trying to sell the New Jersey Giants. Oh, yeah, I'm
Tell you what,
gonna pass on those tickets.
That's an extra $600 million you're passing out on if you were to sell your team if you're the New Jersey Giants. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, you've surpassed the quick hitters, which are supposed to be the warm-ups, but like I said, they're getting a little bit more difficult. But I really want to get into one thing that still bugs me, Sean.
What's up?
And that is, me and Ike used to be preseason roommates, and we were sitting there in preseason, bored out of our minds, and I'm saying to Ike, I need to play some poker online, man. I need to get something I need to kill some time, play some poker online like I used to back in the day when I lived in Europe. I don't know
Benny,
where to
actually,
go.
to bring that up, remember when we used to play poker online in Germany?
Yeah, I do. I remember that clear as day.
We would Skype. Yeah, those were good times. Yeah.
Anyways, I asked Ike, I don't know where to play, and Ike mentions, Sean Johnson. He's played poker online. He's used websites before. Ask him. So we ask you, and you say Bovada, by the way, right? Bovada. Thanks, Bovada.
Did I say that?
I mean, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, you said it.
You could tell me
said
your
it.
version of the story, but either way, it doesn't even matter where it was. But okay, Bovada, let's play some online poker. And I actually start doing really well. Ike starts playing Sia. Sia was helping me, win all kinds of money. We were building
Which
a
one?
bankroll.
Chandelier?
I love Sia.
Chandelier was on.
That's a
Yes,
Chandelier.
we were.
Fun fact about me, I love me some Sia. So I would play it. That was
Yeah.
Benny's good luck charm. He'd be like, "Yo, play
That
Sia.
voice
I'm
was
winning.
was
Yeah.
jamming me up. She was doing good.
He was convinced. He was.
He was.
She was bringing me some good cards too.
She was.
Anyways, I build up the bankroll a little bit. Me and Ike are already excited. Let's cash out. We can use this money. We can go, have a good night out during preseason.
Get
all
some
this
Kit
stuff.
Kats.
So then I can't cash out. Oh, I need my passport. I need my ID. You need to scan something in. You need to do 20,000 things before you can cash out.
Your social
So
security
I asked-
number.
Yeah, things that I don't even think I have. Honestly, things that I don't even have. I had to go get a passport photo and stuff like that.
You had to go to
Anyways,
the U.S. Embassy.
I asked Sean, how do you cash out from this site? And he said, no, actually, I've played there. I've just never cashed out before. I always lose. I was like, what? Sean, please explain yourself, dude. I still need that money. I literally have not received it yet.
Listen, the money's still there. The money will still be there.
The money is long gone.
The money's long gone in Costa Rica already on a yacht.
Sia couldn't keep up.
I think they changed the name of the Bovada website as well, so that's not down to me. That's not down to me. But listen, I just played for fun.
Yeah.
I just played.
He didn't play money.
It was purely recreational. Purely recreational.
You can cash in, but you can't cash out.
Dude, I couldn't believe it when Ike told me, "Oh no, you don't cash out. You don't cash out from that site." I couldn't believe it, dude. I was stupefied.
I was like, what do you mean cash out? I'm over here playing for fun, and you're trying to get your money out of this account. Well, I've literally just put money in, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying wasting time in preseason. You're trying to use this money for important things in life.
Benny, you could probably buy like a Bovada T-shirt or a hat on their website with it.
Yeah, I've
I'm sure if
accrued
you
enough
emailed
points. Yeah, those bonus points that you accrue through paying the rake.
I'm sure they're willing to settle for a T-shirt if you send them an email.
Yeah, maybe they're listening to the podcast. All right,
they could become an official sponsor of the podcast, and then you'd have a really good chance
then
to
we're
get money
cashing
back.
in.
Hey,
Then we're
yeah,
cashing out.
all right.
Really, then we're cashing out. All right, let's get into some real stuff. You played 7 years in Chicago.
7 years.
7 years in Chicago. Then you got traded to Atlanta, which, by the way, you're from Georgia.
Yes.
And then eventually got traded again to New York City. So, like, I want to, before we get into any stories of Chicago, I want to hear about how long was that you knew that you found out that you got traded from Chicago to Atlanta and then to New York City. That was through 1 day, 2 days. How long did that happen? And tell me about kind of like, your mental state through that.
Yeah. Wow. So I think it was probably the whole ordeal lasted maybe 3 days, 3 or 4 days, and I was told that I was headed out of Chicago, and obviously that I got traded. Didn't say where, and I was like, wait a second, like I've been told I've been traded, but I'm not sure where yet. So
What?
I think it was. Hold on. I think it was supposed to be a pleasant surprise because I was going home to Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I was going to be excited about it. So it's kind of one of those things. I ask about it. I prod a little bit. All right, you've been traded to Atlanta. Excited for you and your family, new opportunity, new beginnings. It's like fantastic.
Did you get the call from Atlanta? Like, hey, welcoming you to the club?
I have still not spoken to Atlanta.
Okay.
Actually, I did. They got my family downstairs last night.
I was gonna say,
that's the first time I've spoken to them since the trade. Chicago called. So Nelson called. GM from Chicago called me and said, "Hey, you're going to Atlanta." I was thrilled. I was buzzing. Going back home. All is well. Through the trade process, trade window opens up. I obviously sign the paperwork. Fill out the new registration for a new club, whatever. Sign a new deal to go back home. And then I was actually getting on a plane to go to MLS Cup to do some work with Continental Tire for what you do. And basically, literally right as I was getting on the plane, get a call from my agent, and he's like, "Yo, you got a second?" And the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, "Please, just don't tell me I'm getting traded." Just something clicked in my head. I was like, "There's no other reason."
I can't believe that even went through your head.
Yeah, there was no other reason for him to be
Right.
calling me at that point. Like, just fully fledged in off-season mode. Was going to enjoy MLS Cup. Was getting on the plane, and literally before I took off, bang, you've been traded to New York City FC. So yeah, that was. I honestly think I blacked out for a straight 24 hours, just seeing red. Like everything that was happening was happening, but it really wasn't. So I really wasn't even there. And you're at the team hotel for MLS Cup as well, and you're seeing every single team's GMs and all the media and people from the league. You got people from the league coming up and saying, "Oh, congrats, you're going home." And I was pretty much the only one aware, and I was like, not so sure about that. And everybody's like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, not so sure," and like. In my mind, I was like, I didn't want to go and like just start spreading the news. Like,
Right.
It is like you don't know what details are. I could have been traded again in that like next 24 hours. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like that was when I found out, and literally from that point on, like it was funny because I had my place in Chicago, places for sale in Chicago. I have a house in Georgia, and everything was in my house in Georgia. So like, finally told my like family, celebrated, whatever. Yeah, coming back home, blah blah blah. And
Where are you from in Georgia, Sean?
45 minutes northeast of Atlanta, so Gwinnett County. Fun fact.
Oh, I know. That's
Walker,
where isn't Walker Zimmerman?
Walker
Yeah,
and
we
I
just did that. Yeah.
Walker and I went to the same high school.
Oh.
Josh Wolf was in the same area. He was 5 minutes down the road. Rival high school, Parkview. So there's a bunch of us that came from the area.
Yeah, some ballers out there.
I actually had a similar story when I was actually on a cruise. I got taken by NYCFC in the expansion draft, and internet on a cruise ship is like $10 a second. So I just checked quickly and saw that I was taken by NYCFC, and my wife was upstairs laying out at the pool, and I went up there and I was like, "Hey babe, what do you think about New York City?" And she's like, "Yeah." And we're like, "Yeah, this is gonna be great, New York City." And then literally my agent like emailed me like 2 hours later, "You've just been traded."
Premature celebrations, man.
Traded where? Like, I was so mad. And then he was like, "Oh no, you're gonna still be in New York, but for the Red Bull." So it actually worked out okay. But in your case, it was like
the best part about my situation was obviously like I was set on going to Atlanta because that's where I was from at the time, and my girlfriend was actually dancing in New York City, and so she was like, when I was going to Atlanta, we were going to figure things out because she was going to be dancing here in the winter. And as soon as I told her, it's like, "Listen, babe, like I've just been traded to New York," like celebrations through the phone. I'm like,
so that felt good though. At least someone's happy, right?
Yeah, but like it was literally just like opposite emotions, like
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh wait,
I have to live with my girlfriend now. Oh no."
Another negative for Sean Johnson.
Wait, so
Can't stay at home.
Yeah.
Gotta shack up now.
First off, two things. It's crazy in this league that can happen. Just like you're excited, and then within seconds it just falls. The plan crumbles. But more so, did you negotiate a new contract with Atlanta, expecting to be in Atlanta, and then get sent to New York?
100%.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing because what happened with Sal, like
that's
it
normal.
Can suck.
That's normal.
It can like play with your emotions, but a lot of times, like when LAFC was an expansion team, they took 2 players and then they flipped those 2 players for Laurent Simon. So like that kind of stuff happens. That's a possibility, and it's like, emotionally you can throw you up, ups and downs, but dude, when you get traded, you get a new contract, you sign a new contract, like you have that kind of negotiation kind of with that club, and then you get traded again a day later. That's insane.
Well,
that's just crazy.
Not to mention, so the tears were already flowing. I'll just give a side note. So like obviously like now like being settled in New York, it worked out for the best, right? Like obviously Atlanta's successful. They won MLS Cup. We've been successful here, and it was probably the best move that has happened to me in my career. I love this club, but at the time I was literally like in tears, right? So
when you found out about Atlanta or New York City?
So I figured out I wasn't gonna be at home because I just told like my mom and dad, they were super excited.
Yeah.
But not only that, like you said, like signed a new deal to go to Atlanta, right? And I took a salary to be in a less expensive place.
Right.
And then
I didn't think about that aspect. Yeah.
And then went to a place that was like 3 times as expensive as Chicago.
Right.
That's true.
So
you're like outside of maybe like, I don't know, Silicon Valley, that's got to be the highest, most expensive place to live.
Yeah.
It's one of the top 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, just pure ramen, bread, and rice in my cabinets. Like
you live like a college kid.
Yeah, and
rice and beans,
peanut butter for the occasional like.
That's what I'm saying. People These are things that most people will never think about, unless like whatever their work is as well, like can move them from one place to the other. But I mean the cost of living is so completely opposite. From like you said, from Atlanta to New York City, like Kansas City to LA. as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
I mean, I moved to LA last year, and
the
I wanna
salaries
see-
aren't
and you
the
don't really-
salaries aren't crazy where it's like
Right.
it doesn't matter. Basically, it does matter.
yeah, exactly.
it's
I mean, the
huge.
salaries that becomes a thing, right, for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
if you're not one of those high end players, then that becomes a thing. Being able to live somewhere that's more affordable, and so you accept whatever the contract is because you know you're going to be able to save some money based on cost of living, and then you get traded to the most expensive place in the country, and then there goes that idea.
He gave him the hometown discount, and then they turned it on him.
Psych. So Sean, do you know? Obviously, knowing Brad, you know Brad. Did he just decide overnight that I want to go to Atlanta, and then like whoever Carlos just goes, yeah, we're moving. Like how?
Mike, I
like,
think he had plans on going. He had plans on going to Chicago, right, Sean? Like since you
Oh,
were leaving,
so
he wanted to go back home to Chicago.
Yeah, because Brad's from Chicago.
Yeah. So I'll say this. So like, as much as I know, like I don't want to speak for Brad. Like you probably have to bring him on the show and ask him yourself. We haven't really spoken. We haven't spoken in depth about it. But I think
They don't speak anymore. No, I'm kidding.
This tore you guys apart.
Just shun. No, we're still cool. The thing is, like, all I know is I was from Atlanta, right? Born and raised, family's there. He was from Chicago, born and raised. Like, he had family there. So I can imagine that's where he had plans to end up. You know, as I was leaving, I planned to be in Atlanta. Playing at home. That was the original plan. Like, I don't know the full story of what happened. Like there could be a million different scenarios, whether it was in a discussion, whether it was like something that didn't happen that was supposed to happen. But that all those ends are still loose. And I just literally as a player, your mind just goes loops, trying to think about like what potentially happened, and then you settle on something, and you're like, "Aha, this is it." And then you're probably way wrong, But whatever can make you sleep at night. But I think obviously like something happened within the process, whether it was planned, whether it was like something that was like reaction to something happening or not happening. But we both ended up in different situations, so it was interesting.
All right, well, now let's move on to your time at New York City. I'll go back to actually Chicago later because I think Ike might have a few stories that I haven't heard of that he might want to ask about. But I want to ask you about New York City. You've had three, right? You've been there for 3 seasons now.
Yeah, this is my third season.
Third season. So you've had pretty good seasons. I mean, the team's done well. You've had 2 different coaches. The stories that I've heard from Vieira, obviously he was a very good coach, very successful. He made you guys into a really good team. I think a better team than the sum of their parts, to be honest. I think he like put you guys together really well, and it's not easy, with some of the big players that you guys had with David Villa, Pirlo, Lampard, all those guys, and so sometimes it's not easy to put all those pieces together. But I thought you guys were, played a really good style, especially on a difficult field. But what I want to get to is off the field. I heard this man had some very stingy rules, and I'll say stingy and I'll be nice. Because
This is Vieira, Benny?
This is Vieira, yeah, Patrick Vieira. I heard. You tell me what's true. Some might become rumors after you hear it from one guy to the next. But I've heard stories about how literally no one can wear any of their own clothes. You got to wear all team gear all the time in the hotel, outside the hotel, any trips, any preseason. I heard there's strict curfews. He's sitting out in the lobby with his clock, making sure everybody gets in on time. Team meals, get in there at a certain time, got to stay until everybody's done. All these. So I want to hear from you some of like the best stories and what's true and I guess what's not maybe. But how was he as a coach, I guess, off the field?
Off the field, honestly, he was great. He was strict, yes. He had his rules. Everybody that got in there, I think, respected the rules. There was no like, man, like these rules are way too strict. Like we're over this. Like we're not going to do it. Like nah, like that didn't fly. Like he had, like he was just that chain was just yeah, all right, yeah, cool, all right, go home. Like that's it. You know what I mean? So like there was no thinking about like, man, these rules are tough. Like you just got on with it. Honestly, I thought most of them pretty good. Like right, like yes, we have to wear team gear all the time. Not in casual moments, like if you're going out to like dinner, like he didn't make you wear like team.
You go out with your girlfriend in New York City gear.
But that was probably fine with the South Americans who wear the same polo like 4 days straight on these road trips.
Yes, the same cologne, the same
polo, same cologne. Yeah.
No, but yeah. So he allowed us the freedom, like, but when he said it was time, right? The entire preseason. There was nothing other than team gear. We couldn't wear team gear. There's no team cars. There's no leaving the hotels unless you had an off time. Then you could Uber. And as well as you know, in Arizona, getting an Uber tucked away in those mountains takes a solid 30 minutes of planning.
I got a pretty good a Patrick Vieira story as well. So you weren't there, Sean, but we. When Red Bull beat them, when we beat them 7-0 that game, there was a guy on our team, Felipe. I'm sure you guys know him well.
Who?
All of you. Felipe Martins. Anyways, he
newly minted DC United player.
He may have gotten under Patrick Vieira's skin going into the tunnel after the 7-0 game, and Patrick Vieira may or may have not threatened to break his effing legs in the locker room.
I will say that is probably 100% factual. That's probably
yeah. He was ready to throw down, and I was just like, Felipe, get in the locker room.
Who hasn't Felipe pissed off enough for for somebody to like lose their mind on him like that?
Yeah. Security guards kind of had to shuffle people away.
Well, Felipe runs away from Roger, and that's probably smart on his part.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, Pat. He's one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, it could come down to, so like my first year we're playing ping pong, and aren't
you pretty good at ping pong?
I'm semi nice at ping pong.
Yeah,
I'm semi nice. Like I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to say the same for myself. So,
but you're nice too, Benny. Benny, you're pretty good, right?
I mean, if I'm playing like regularly, I think it's like golf. Like I can get decent, but on a one-off right now, I haven't played ping pong in so long. I wouldn't consider myself semi-nice, at least not yet. I got to have some Forrest Gump training or something.
You hit them straight and 400 yards in the air. Like, it's like golf.
So my first year, we're playing ping pong at our training facility and playing against Pat, and he's like pure laughs, jokes, like, cause he's actually nice. Like, my man plays ping pong. Like, I don't know where he like learned how to play, but my man could literally go right now and join some type of professional tour. It's wild. It's wild. I have no idea. So we're playing, and he's pretty good. But like you said, you play for a while, you get in this groove, like you actually get to be pretty consistent. So we're playing back and forth. It's cool. It's a good game. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Boom. He takes an L. All right. So play him again. He wins. Now it's getting a little bit heated. So we play like a third game, a grudge match, and at this game, the third game gets there. The first two games, we were talking English back and forth. The third game, it turns into pure French and just swearing. And then the only English words that he's telling me is that I'm absolute trash. And if my hands were as good as they were in ping pong on the soccer pitch, maybe the team would actually win something. He just goes berserk. And I kid you not, I was up like 19-13, right? Two points to game point, have it in the bag. And like internally seeing him this upset, like it's a little bit funny. And you're trying to contain your laughter, but it got so real. And all I could think about was, my career is literally about to be over. It's about to be finished. And I don't think
Don't tell me you gave him the game, bro.
I didn't give him the game, but my hands just stopped working. I'm telling you. You guys will never understand until you're in this man's presence how I lost a 1913 game to him telling me I'm the worst ping pong player he's ever played against. And then one day, like 2-3 months later, he strolls in. He won't even look at me when we're playing ping pong anymore. Like, he'll just walk by and then he'll just like give a little like, and and just keep going, right? Every single day. And finally he walks in one day and he goes, okay, you are worthy of a rematch with me. And I said, yo, hold on.
I don't want to.
What is this? I don't even want to play this rematch right now. Like, on his terms, okay, you are now worthy of a rematch because I've been watching you for months. But my man's mad competitive. I think who was it? Yeah, Saad. My good friend Saad was
Our good friend. We all know him. Sal, did you play with Saad?
No, I never
Okay,
did.
Sal's the only one, but we know him, obviously.
Ask him about the new freezer dance that came out as a new freezer challenge.
Oh, I remember that. He did a dance in preseason and posted it and got suspended for like all the preseason.
Wait, Saad did?
Yeah, it was a 2-second video. Oh, he said, "Yo, I got suspended from training for posting a video on social media." I said, "Were you naked? Like, what happened?" He said, "I was doing the freezer dance." I said, "Wait, the one that you just flip a towel? Like what?"
Yeah, you put a towel.
I don't even know
what
what the freezer dance is, dude.
You basically put a towel on your head, and it's kind of like a wig, and you like flip it left and right while you're like the new freezer song's on, and it's kind of like a thing. It's like one of those like things that went viral,
right.
like a challenge.
Yeah.
And he just did it. It was wrong place, wrong time. Like, we're in preseason, we're taking things seriously, and we ended up getting like beat pretty badly by LA in preseason, and it just happened to be the one video that remains standing online.
Oh no. There's always one scapegoat.
We're looking at how everybody's preparing mentally for this like important preseason clash. There's just head flips.
Bro, that brings me to actually a funny little tidbit because Sal, a couple episodes ago, Sal, you said there was one face in MLS that really ticks you off.
Tinnerholm. How is this guy off the field?
And it's the man that took Saad's job, bro. So I want to know, is Tinnerholm, does that face match the personality? Because Sal, how did you describe him?
Just the face you just, I don't know, want to hit. What did I say? The face you just want to punch.
Well, I would say this man tries to get into a brawl every game, and I'm like, Tinnerholm, my man, like I don't think this is you. So
I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
We're not doubting
it's
that.
just the look of him, the way he looks, and the way he the way he acts.
What do you have against the way he looks, Al?
I don't know.
I kind of see it too.
Squint.
I'm not
He's
gonna
always
lie.
kind of like
He looks like a little
like a
mean
whiner.
rat.
Yeah, a little weasel. Weasel.
Weasel.
Hey, he's awesome. He's awesome off the pitch, bro. He's my teammate.
That's usually how it works, right? They're like the coolest guys
right.
off the pitch, but if you don't know them,
okay,
they're
but
just
Sean,
worse.
You love to have those players on your team, right? Like the players that will get in an opponent's head, and that like Sal, you're obviously still thinking about this man.
Oh, he would be running around. If I was still on the Red Bulls, I'd be losing it. I would have gotten in trouble by now, I think.
Yeah,
oh man,
he's great, man. There's a handful of players, but hey, he is Swedish too. He is Swedish. And
so what does that mean?
Swedish players in this league. I've had my altercations.
You've had your run-ins with some Swedish guys.
I've also had.
Yeah.
When your neck was squeezed almost the life out of you.
Yeah. Forget talking about Chicago Fire. Let's talk about this. Did you see your life flash before your eyes or what?
Yeah, we forgot about this. We weren't even going to talk about it, I don't think. But
yeah, I'm just saying, like there's a common denominator there. So.
Yeah. Did you hear what happened with this, by the way? They were playing LAFC or whatever, right? And he got a red card in that game, correct?
Correct.
And then, didn't he get a red card after VAR or no?
Oh, like it was like his fifth yellow.
He got a yellow.
He got a warning for breaking the guy's face.
Yeah. No. I'm saying against you guys, he got a yellow.
Oh, I thought you said LAFC.
No, so let me go back. Sorry. He got a yellow against you guys. He didn't get a red card, correct?
Correct.
In the game. The Disco suspended him for a game after the fact.
After his,
after reviewing the play.
An extra game.
Right.
You're right.
And then he would have been suspended for the LAFC game based on 5 yellow card accumulation or whatever it is. And then they said no because the yellow card that he got against Sean Johnson, actually he got suspended for by the disco, so that doesn't count as a yellow card anymore. Ergo, he can play against LAFC.
Right.
And then he did what he did against LAFC too,
which I'm glad he played.
crazy.
Which I'm glad he played because that made the game so much more exciting. As much as he probably should have been stayed suspended, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that game. So
what a game! What a game!
I wonder what Bob Bradley feels about that first goal because that was yikes.
That was impressive. Huh?
Wait.
Yeah.
Can we rewind though? Can we rewind to the first time he came on for LA?
No, come on, don't do that to me.
Yeah, Benny, you were there.
That was incredible too.
I don't know personally how it felt to be there because I wasn't, but I know how it felt to be in front of the TV screen.
I do too.
I can tell you it wasn't fun, bro. It wasn't fun. Don't bring it up.
We were on a road trip, and Darlington Nagbe was in the shower, and I think I scared the crap out of him in the shower. I was like, "No!"
Were you screaming too? I think everybody's reaction was
screaming,
just. We were in a hotel room, and everybody just busted out of their hotel room doors and just running
all
down
into the
halls.
hallway. Everyone just meets in the hallway at the same time. Fast
I think
forward.
those screams were heard all the way back in LA. It's crazy.
Can we stop? Is
Well,
that enough?
well, fast forward a year later, he's choking out Sean on that same field. So, and he threatened to
know what
murder me
happened.
the other day. So,
literally cheered for this man's debut, and then got choked out.
started
Got put in a sleeper hold. He woke up after the game.
I'm so lucky I did not just pass out. I told you. My man knows karate. He could have been a nerve.
That's true.
right.
He's a black belt.
oh god,
He's a black jiu-jitsu, right?
Could you
What is
imagine
it?
if I just in the middle of the game? Very possible.
If you woke up though, that's a good lawsuit to have in your back pocket. Good lawsuit to have.
All right, let's move on, dude. We're gonna run out of time for Ike's interrogation. So, Ike, I'm pushing the interview towards you. It's your prerogative now. What you want to ask him? Good
Okay.
luck. You're on the hot seat, my friend. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, so you know how the game works since you've listened to previous podcasts. But in case you
Why are you
haven't,
so aggressive already?
I'm angry. I'm a little angry. But for first-time listeners, this is a game called Plead the Fifth. I'm going to ask Sean 5 questions. He gets to plead the fifth on one question. Shall he answer all 5? He gets to ask any one of us, hopefully Benny or Sal, a question of whatever he would like, and we must answer. So, I will say this. I took the questions from the fans this week, which were phenomenal, by the way. Fans, keep sending me your questions. They were awesome. The best part about it, too, is now we have our colleagues around MLS who will send me questions as well. And that's actually pretty
Yes.
funny. Except for Johan. Johan sent me a statement, not a question in there. His was, tell Ike that he's an F-boy for me. I actually appreciate that one. Yeah, who knows what Johan Quase thinks. Nohan Croissant. But this first question is coming from one of our colleagues around MLS. Actually, I won't say his name. He says, do you really think Bill Hamid is actually better than Brad Guzan? Because if you followed, you know, everyone knows that Bill went on a rant of goalies around the January camp. And just, no one was safe. So, that was a
Literally,
question.
everybody was just in the
Yes.
target lines. Wow. Is Bill Hamid really better than Brad Guzan? I think Bill thinks he's better than every goalkeeper in the world, to be honest.
Okay.
That's what I think. So
That answer suffices. I respect that. So is he better than you?
according to him,
Is he better than you,
according
Sean?
to him.
Follow-up
No.
question. No. We're making that clear. Love that.
No.
All right. This fan question. I could have done all 5 fan questions, by the way. Fans really were coming in hot. From Carter Hastings, he said, if you could swap out someone in your back line and replace them with anyone in the league, who would you get rid of and who would you pick up? Carter, what a great question.
Wow. Who would I replace?
You got to swap out Tinnerholm, right? You got to.
Oh wow. Who would I bring in? Yeah, I guess, for Sal's sake, for peace of mind, it has to be Anton. It has to be Anton. because Loki he comes at me on the daily basis too. So he's out. He's out. He's out.
And you're replacing him with
Who's coming in his stead?
I think I'd bring Ike in because I think that would open up some space to sign a TAM player.
Oh, damn. Just came at you. I'm assuming that he's saying that Tinnerholm makes
Next
more
question.
money.
Next question.
Okay. Next question will be
It's going to get hotter here.
No. I can take it, guys. It's okay. I'm not that salty. How much of an impact did John Bush have on your career on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being a little and 10 being... Actually, 1 being a lot, 10 being a lot.
From 1 to 10, how much of an impact did he have on my career? I'm going to go with... Everybody's sitting there waiting for the answer. So 1's a lot? There you go.
1 is a little and 10 is a lot.
I'm gonna go with.
But let me rephrase. 1 is none. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear.
Point. No. I'll go with a 2.7. A 2.7.
It's like the Barstool Pizza review.
Bare mins.
2.7.
And why is it so low? Can I ask why is it so low?
I mean, it's not really low. That's a really high. That's a really high number for him. So, so if you want to get into detail, that is a great number. That is a great number for him.
Okay. Next question. Worst coach you've had as a professional? Honestly, these are all fan questions, except for the Bush one. That was mine. But worst professional coach you've played for in your pro career? Well, I guess that was kind of my question that I had. Fans and I think alike now. They're getting the gist of the questions.
Worst pro coach. Wow.
I think you plead the fifth, my man. I think you do it.
I plead the fifth.
You needed that one.
All right, now moving on. Most underrated goalie in MLS.
Most what?
Underrated goalie in MLS. Shut up, Benny. It's
Underrated.
Yeah, underrated.
Okay.
Most underrated goalkeeper in MLS.
Last question, by the way.
What's that?
Last question, by the way. So you're off the hot seat after
last
this one.
question. Most underrated. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with. I'd probably say Evan Bush, maybe.
Interesting. I've actually heard that from. Yeah. Wait,
Stop.
Benny, you don't think so? Who would you pick?
Evan Bush.
Well, I mean,
Did
I don't
you
know
see
if
the
he
goal Kai scored on him.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know who would be my goalie, but
Like maybe Tim Melia.
well, I mean,
Like,
I guess he's still underrated in some ways.
just solely going off of goalkeepers who I think are quality that maybe haven't gotten what the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, which is fair.
I think Evan Bush is fine. I don't think he's
I think
that
those-
highly underrated though.
Underrated.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, those would be my two in the world of goalkeeping. Those would be my two.
Yeah, I would still take Robles as the best goalie in New York, so in the tri-state area, just so we're clear.
He doesn't play in New York, Ike.
Tri-state area, my man.
Tri-state area.
Tri-state.
All right, Sean John, you've successfully you pled the fifth once, but you're successfully done with your hot seat in Ike's interrogation. Well done. Does anybody else have any further questions for our friend here? Sal, anything?
Nah, nothing. Thanks for coming on, Sean. Appreciate
Sean,
it.
we really appreciate it,
Always a
man.
pleasure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck the rest of the season. I know you guys have a few games in hand, so try to make them count. Most teams can't make them count at the end of the year, so we'll see what you guys can do. But good luck towards the end of the year.
Same to you guys, man. I'm really pulling for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Wait, who's you guys?
Good luck in the playoffs this year.
Like all of us, or
everybody?
Like, or
everybody.
dig at Benny, or who's that? Who's trying to dig at me?
Me in Kansas City. You in Minnesota.
That was for Benny. We have games in hand, and they have games that they.
We don't have games in hand, but he's also wishing Sal good luck in his seminar today. He didn't have his nice t-shirt on, so it must be an after lunch special today.
Oh god!
No, you guys made me take a half day.
Isn't it always a half day as a realtor? I'm confused.
Dude, don't realtors just have like beepers or something that they just have to get called in like doctors?
Don't give them that much respect, Benny. Just kidding. No, every job is a tough
I think the clients just ring bells and then they just go.
Yeah.
All right, man. We really appreciate it, Sean John. Good luck the rest of the way, and we will see you around, bro.
All right,
thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean, for coming on the show. That was awesome. Some pretty good stories there with Patrick Vieira in New York City, his time getting traded when he thought he was with Atlanta for maybe 48 hours, and then finding out he got traded again to New York City. So a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, I think he's going to definitely – I think, he was pretty open to answering a lot of his questions, and I think he's a pretty honest guy. So, what you hear is what you get with him.
Yeah, man. I mean, those are the kind of things though that I think a lot of people don't realize that happen in MLS, and even for me, like it's crazy that you don't really think about that aspect unless it's happening to you in terms of what he said, right? Atlanta's cost of living and that kind of thing, and then New York City, the complete opposite, and so. It's not all glamour sometimes, and even for Sean Johnson, who's one of the best goalies in the league, and plays in the national team and whatnot, and so it's something that you wouldn't expect to have happened to him, but yeah, it happens. It can happen to anybody, so it's interesting to find out those stories, behind the scenes.
Yep, definitely.
Anyways. Please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, DL or stream on TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. Rate and comment on Instagram and Twitter, and email us your thoughts on BennySal@gmail.com. We've been getting great questions for Ike's interrogation. I don't even know what Ike does on this show anymore. He just repeats questions at the
collects. Yeah,
he collects all the fans'
off
questions.
Twitter. Yeah.
So thank you, fans. Keep coming hot with those. Difficult questions to answer, and we'll continue to ask them to our guests. So it's been a lot of fun. We're 11 episodes in. Keep sharing and telling all your buddies about the podcast, and we'll keep doing our thing over here. Anything else, Sal?
No, thanks guys for listening once again. And if you guys have any, other things on your wish list of maybe people you'd like us to interview, shoot us a tweet or an email or whatever. We'll check them out and we'll hear what you guys have to say.
We'll get Nino on top of that stuff because we got to keep him busy as well. So all right, I gotta go, man. I gotta rush to the airport and get on this flight. So
All right, man.
I will see you later,
Safe
bro.
flight. All right.
See you guys.
Care.